Hello, Earth Tribe. This is Amanda Smith with The Activated Earth, and this is my first video in my Science and Spirituality in Nature video course. This is actually the second version of this video. I had another one that came before this, and I wanted to give you something different this time around for this video course. And that means it's going to be you and me individually, whoever is here watching this right now. And I do have other videos that I will not be recording again, which means you will see the students that I actually taught lifetime in some of the other upcoming videos, but not this one. It's going to be me and my goddess table and my PowerPoint. So what I'm going to do right now is get to the share button and share my PowerPoint. And we will start the slideshow. And it's not liking what I'm doing, obviously. Here we go. Yay. Okay, so this is where I explain all about how nature and the way she works lost the combination of science and spirituality. So science is it's all about observation. So what do you see? How does nature work? How does any kind of system work? What are the parts? What are they doing? What is their synergy? How do they work collectively? How do they work in a smaller snapshot of what is going on? I have found that the best way to look at things is to actually be more holistic about it. When you start to take science apart and only focus on one or two variables, you lose the actual synergy of how everything works together. So in watching nature, so nature has become my laboratory now. So I am a scientist, but I also believe in magic, and I'm very spiritual, and the land is a spiritual being for me that needs to be observed the way science does, but treated like a living, breathing, conscious being that has information for us, wisdom for us, and resources for us. And when you combine those, then you start to create abundance with Earth. So what we do right now is we take her abundance. But Earth has a way of helping us to create. And that's what this video series is all about, is learning how that works. And that's what we're going to be talking about, creating abundance with Earth. And bringing the science and spirituality back together is really key to that. But this first thing we're going to talk about is why we don't have that anymore. What happened? It's a pretty interesting story. But there are other reasons around why this matters also, bringing the spirituality back. And that's because we are supposed to be connected to the earth in such a way that we are a conduit to the above and the below, a complete circuit, like an electrical circuit. So without that electrical circuit open and transmitting, we begin to have some problems. So we're going to be talking about that. We're going to be talking about what makes humans unique. Why might we be endowed with this uniqueness? And how does the disconnection from the above and below affect us? And then we'll do some reconnecting to nature wisdom. There'll be a meditation at the end of this video where I will lead you through connecting again with the Earth's power grid. So this is my representation of everything that's out there. So Hopefully you can see my little cursor. So the I is the center, and humans should be in the center. So from the center, we would connect with the above and the below, and then we would connect with the elements of the four directions. So what we have over here is we have earth, we have water, we have air, and we have fire. So we will be examining throughout the video series the science and spirituality of earth, water, air, and fire. So I thought I would tell you a little bit about my story, finding my connection. I went through a period of great transformation and it was a birthing process, and birthing is painful, and it not just actually birthing, coming through the metaphorical birth canal, but being being the person who is having the metaphorical baby, right? So I did both things. I needed to be rebirthed, I needed to do the work, and I needed to rebirth. And I lost an important connection in my life. My life partner, we did not work out, and this created a huge period of grief for me. It took me a long time to get past that. And sometimes it's just when you realize that somebody that you love that intensely isn't right for you, there can be a lot of regret over um, that he couldn't, he couldn't meet you on an even playing field, or she couldn't meet you on an even playing field. So I ended up journeying literally to first the Black Hills. I went to the Black Hills. I found a great connection with the earth there, and that place is so magical. It is full of crystals, full of quartz, rose quartz, smoky quartz. The outcrops where the cliff face has been exposed is just, I saw some that was just entirely big giant chunks of rose quartz. And I went for several hikes, and I literally walked past big pieces of rose quartz just in the pathway that I'd have to pay like $300 for in a gem and mineral store. And it was just a very magical place, and easy to be connected with myself and with the universe, where the universal wisdom comes from. And after I did that, I went to a women's retreat in Santa Fe. And what I discovered there is that so much of our connecting time is spent going up. We go up. This is where God is, the Father. And we forget that there's the mother that's down. So we have to take our energy down. And without that earth connection, then nothing goes right, because the earth, that's where all the resources come from. Everything you need comes from the earth. And this is what I learned at that retreat. And this was several years ago now. And as soon as I began to do that, my life began to get better. And I began to have a better frame of mind. I began to feel better about myself and where I was, because I wanted to have somebody to grow old with. That was my dream. And I met this person when I was 44, and I thought, okay, this is my last chance. Man, this guy is so awesome. And it turned out he wasn't as awesome as I thought he was. So, but what I was grieving was the loss of the dream more than I was grieving the loss of him. And realizing that something that I'd wanted in my life was not going to manifest now, because I'm too old. It's I still think about that, but it doesn't really matter to me like it did then. It doesn't matter. I just want to be happy. So that's what I work towards all the time, is what would make me happy. And when I did that, that it caused these changes on my inside that then started to change the landscape of my outside. So I have better friends. I've still lost some friends as I've gone through this journey, but they were not really true friends. So now I have room for some really great friends, and I have some really, really great friends. So that's how I began this journey of being earth connected, and began to see what that would do for me. And in doing that, I started to explore more in my meditations about what this means, what our place in the universe means, what our place on the planet means. And I began to think about, well, what makes humans so special on planet Earth? I mean, we're different, right? We're definitely different, and we have some unique capabilities. So the first thing that came to me was empathy. And empathy is a product of being connected with your divine masculine and your divine feminine. So this is how I look at empathy. So where the moon represents on this the red hand over here, the moon represents divine feminine, and the sun on the blue hand represents divine masculine, and they're both holding the unified heart where the empathy is. So, why is that such an important aspect of humanity? Well, it causes us to connect to the feelings of others. It causes us to connect. And that this previous illustration that I showed you, this is the connection that we have internally with divine masculine and divine feminine. And that connection is really important. That's the internal connection that gives us the ability to uh, to understand that other people have feelings and to connect with those feelings. So the feminine is the being part. Okay, so who are you? What are you? What matters to you? What's your philosophy? What are your belief systems? What do you like? What's your favorite color? What do you like to eat for breakfast? These are all the things that are who you are. So what do you do with that? Who you are, that is the feminine. How do you feel about what you eat for breakfast? If you're eating something that you like, I imagine you feel good about it. So if you want to feel good about what you eat for breakfast, what do you do about it? Well, you make something that you like. You make something for yourself that you like. Or maybe you don't want to cook breakfast. You want to go out for breakfast. You don't like to do dishes. Dishes make you feel, swamped, overwhelmed. So what do? That the doing part is the masculine. So empathy comes from us being connected as individuals with that uh, inside us, those two aspects of feminine and masculine, embracing the being, and then managing your doing. So when you embrace your being, you are in touch with your feelings. If you are in touch with your feelings, you're capable of being in touch with other people's feelings. So why does this make us unique? Okay, so we can actually have free will here on this planet. We don't have to care about other people. And we don't have to do anything that shows other people that we care. We don't have to do anything that is caring towards other people. We don't have to take caring actions. So what animals are shown to be doing? You've seen all those videos that are out there of animals helping each other, and helping each other, different species helping each other, out of trash cans or out of rivers. Sometimes animals take on babies and help babies that are not even of the same species. And this is the empathy that animals just carry, and they don't have free will the way that we do. We get to decide, are we going to be connected or not? So when you don't have connections, when things aren't connected with each other, then it's just kind of flying all over the place, right? So when it's connected, you basically have a grid. You have a grid of energy, however that looks, whatever that shape might be. It's connected. That's order. If you don't have this connection, then you have chaos. And those of us who are here who are all about themselves and grabbing and hoarding all of the stuff, they're greedy, they don't have empathy for anybody. All they care about is that they have all the resources, and that if they share them, then somehow that takes away from them. That does not create order. That creates chaos. Connection creates order. So empathy is really, really important. Adaptability. All right, what does that mean? Well, we can pretty much go anywhere on Earth we want. I'm going to move my little video because it's on top of my title. So we can go pretty much anywhere we want. We have adapted to outer space, air travel, underwater, and then of course being at elevation. So we have ways of adapting to these places that other animals can't do. So there might be other animals here on the planet that are perhaps more awake and aware than we are, maybe like dolphins, elephants, unicorns. Just kidding. Well, who knows? Maybe there are unicorns. I like to think there are unicorns. So I'm thinking about where I might find a unicorn now. And I could probably adapt to that environment in a way so that I could go find the unicorns, right? So this makes it so we can go all these places and we can study those places and discover what's there. And there are things that can only live in the water, things that can only live at, like certain trees can only live at elevation, like pine trees. There are certain fish that live really deep in the water, and they're adapted for the dark and the pressure. And we can go there if we get inside one of those, capsule thingies. And this is something that other animals can't do, regardless of their vibration or their consciousness, but we can. That's weird. Oh, okay, there we go. So the next thing is our imagination, our creativity, and our opposable thumbs. So we can imagine a lot of things. So we can say, hey, I want to go to this place, like underwater, and I need to create a suit and a breathing device so that I can go there. We can build. We're builders. And that's, our opposable thumbs. If we didn't have these, we wouldn't be able to make all this stuff. So I feel like that might sound mundane, but it's really, really important. Other creatures don't have these kinds of tools that we have for making things. Unfortunately, we spend a lot of our time taking things apart instead of making them. But we are endowed with this gift that we all should be using just every day, all day long. So the next thing is our size. So this is a representation of where we fit in the cosmos. So I just use this sunflower for an awesome little center. And we are, if you can see my cursor, we are down here. So ants and humans, unfortunately, are we're basically the same size. If you look in the grand scheme of things, there's not a huge difference in our size. So I know it says 1 centimeter when we're really more like, probably more like, oh, I don't know. How many centimeters are in a meter? I think it's 100 centimeters in a meter. So anyhow, where we fit in the viewable cosmos is the center. So we have historically, we thought of ourselves as the center, but we thought we were the center of the universe, as in human beings on planet Earth. We were the center. Things like revolved around the Earth. Well, we are the center, but it's a different kind of center. So if you go counterclockwise around this sunflower, you get to DNA, which is 10 to the minus 5 centimeters, and then it keeps going. It's by minus 5 each time. So then it's 10 to the minus 20 when you get down to the atomic level. And then when you get down to things like molecular bonding, that's 10 to the minus 15 centimeters. Dark matter, which is actually dark matter, it's measured as the energy that actually holds the universe together. So we know that it's there because light bends around it. And that's what's filling up all of the spaces in the universe. So the stuff that we can't see or seems like empty space is really important in defining how things work. So there's something out there that causes light to bend. So it has some kind of gravitational pull. And this is what holds things together. So dark matter, 10 to the minus 20 centimeters. And then you get down to strings. Strings are that super, super subatomic level where when you look at everything, it all looks like these little dancing strings. So that's at 10 to the minus 30. Gravity is at 10 to the minus 25. Strings are at 10. No, that's right. We got this. So anyhow, when you go the other direction, then you're looking at mountains, and then planets, and then stars, and then galaxies, and then constellations, and then basically the horizon at 10 to the 25th. The horizon is, when you look up at the heavens, you're outside, you look up at the heavens, everything that you can see, that's the horizon. So that's everything in the view of the sky. So this is our cosmos. Our cosmos extends from strings and gravity to this horizon. We are in the center. We are literally in the center. So what does that mean? Why would we be perfectly suited to study so much, to be able to see so many things as they are unfolding in our cosmos? Well, the first thing is land stewardship. This is crazy that I'm coughing so much right now. Maybe so you'll pay more attention at this particular juncture. And I will definitely convey to you how important it is for us to be land stewards. So this uniqueness allows us to be able to see all of the connection and the information, to be able to observe so much and see how things work. And if we see how things work, then we can steward them better. So when we do this, then we can begin to open the doors of energy flow. And when we open those doors, then the earth and sky then begins to be connected through us. We become conduits of the energy that needs to be there, and that is the completion of the electrical circuit. So that's our above and below connection, which I like to represent as a tree because, oops, because trees do the same thing that we do. They receive from above, they bring it down, they give to the earth, and then the earth gives back. And that is what happens with us. So, this connection between us with the above and the below, it's necessary for the earth and it's necessary for us. So, how did the spirit world and the nature world part ways? Okay, well, there are a lot of stories, and I'm going to share one with you that I think is really quite telling as to how this could have happened. This is an ancient representation of the cosmos for the Egyptians, and the Nile for them, the River Nile that ran through their valley, that uh, fed them. You know, they relied on it to flood and create this awesome bottomland for crops every year. The Nile is actually a reflection of the Milky Way. It's not the other way around. Then the Nile is a reflection of the Milky Way. So these things were totally connected. And the pharaohs who would be in charge would rise to these heavens, the Milky Way, the Nile in the sky, after death, and they would continue protecting Egypt from there. This is what gave people a connection to their empowerment, to their ability to create for themselves. So the gods, the space here that is created by this is the air. Shu is the air, the father of the sky goddess Nut, and then the earth, his son and Nut's brother is Jeb down here, this little green guy. So everything you could see had a spiritual representation. And here, the mother of the stars was protection from chaos. She offers connection. Okay. See how she's connected? Her hands touch the earth, her feet touch the earth. She has connection with her brother, who is where the people walked on the earth, her brother. So, this was how they created order and harmony in their universe. And it was based on observation of their cosmos, and that's the science part. And then the human connection and participation in creation, that was the spirituality part. They had a spiritual connection to nature, and they observed it, and they were able to come to conclusions about what everything meant. Now, their cosmos was small, right? So they couldn't see strings, and they couldn't see beyond the horizon that basically we can actually see beyond that now, because we have things like the Hubble telescope. So that just gives us a greater picture, and the bigger the picture is, the more interpretation you can do, and interpretations will change as the degree of range changes. So again, let me move my little picture. So what happened was, in 1609, Galileo read about a telescope, and when he read about this telescope, he thought, wow, I can start to look at other stuff in the sky. I can see more. He built his own based on reading about, and I think he had a picture and some literature about this telescope. So he built his own. And this is where he noticed that by making a sun-centered system instead of an earth-centered system, then it made sense the way the planets sometimes look like they were going backwards. It's because they'd get around the sun and then they'd be, behind the sun. So, and it would look like they were going backwards. And so when we talk about Mercury retrograde, that's where that comes from. So this did not go over well with the church. So the church really depended on the earth-centric point of view, really needed that to be real, because that's what gave power to the spirituality of the church, was humans living at the center of the universe, the center of the galaxy. So the Roman Church placed Galileo under a lifetime house arrest for basically publicly refuting the church. I mean, he wrote papers about what he observed and said, based on this observation, the sun has to be the center of the galaxy. So what happened was, when they placed him under arrest, this created this Cartesian bargain. It was an unspoken agreement between scientists and the church. And the other scientists didn't want to touch that. They weren't going there. They did not want to be under house arrest, or perhaps worse. I mean, Galileo died under house arrest. So this established the hierarchy of the church in regards to spiritual things. And we'll come back to that slide. So now what we have is the split between the science and spirituality. So scientists said, we will just focus on observing science, and we won't try to mess with what the spirituality is saying. So they stayed out of it, and everything got split up. So this is where a lot of the separation comes from. There are other things, there are other, the things of, like, maybe not honoring the feminine, the other creation stories, the Adam and Eve story, the separation from the garden. There's separation stories everywhere. You can always find more separation stories. So this is the end of basically the left brain part of this video. And now what I would like to lead you through is reconnecting with the earth grid. We're going to do a meditation, reconnect you to the earth grid, and then we'll go to that last slide, which is the homework. It's the things that you can do on your own to practice. So what I'd like you to do right now is to just simply get comfortable and relax. And if you need to lie down, lie down. If you need to lean back, just lean back. If the sun is moving like it is for me, and you don't want to be in the sun, or you do want to be in the sun, shift yourself. And once you do that, I'd like you to close your eyes. So close your eyes and bring your awareness into your heart center. And begin to breathe. Breathe from your heart. And imagine that your heart has a lung, a place where the breath comes in and the breath goes out. Take some good, long, deep breaths, just breathing in to your heart and breathing out from your heart. Then bring your awareness to the top of your head, your crown chakra, and see it opening like a flower that is blossoming and receiving the light of the above, the divine masculine, the great father. That energy comes in through your crown and you draw it down into your heart. And it draws down even further through the rest of your body, down through your lower chakras, out your feet, out your fingers. And that energy now seeps down into the earth, going deep, deep into the earth until it reaches the earth's molten lava core where it wraps around it. That energy comes back up, and that is the divine feminine energy, the energy of the earth. It comes up and meets in your heart, this pinpoint in your heart, and then it goes up to the above again, creating an infinity where the meeting point is in your heart center. And in doing this, you have created a unified heart of divine masculine and divine feminine. And from this place, from this pinpoint, this fulcrum, see it begin to spiral out in a clockwise fashion. It spirals clockwise. And as you breathe in, again, you are breathing in gratitude. And as you breathe out love. And it goes out in that spiral and is shared. It's shared as far as you would like it to go, as far as it wants to go. Perhaps it's just your own body or fills up the room, your city, your state, your country, the galaxy. And now that we have established this balanced connection with the divine masculine and the divine feminine, see yourself walking. You're outside, you're walking. Your feet are bare, your toes are on the earth. And you look down to the ground. And as you look down, you notice that the earth has become translucent. You can see through it. You can see through all of its layers, and it is inviting you. And you dive down through those layers, and you keep going until you reach the earth's molten lava core. And while you're here, you feel its warmth. It's warm and nurturing. It envelops you, it holds you, it supports you. And you begin to notice that you can hear the earth's heartbeat. The beat that is created by the rise and fall of heat from the earth's core that rises up to the earth's crust. And as the temperature cools, convection stops, things sink back down. And then they rise up again, creating the earth's heartbeat. And you can hear your own heartbeat. And soon you notice that your heartbeat matches the earth's heartbeat. And then you begin to feel the earth's breath, her breath, how she breathes. So her water expands and contracts with the tides, with the shift in the planets and the moon and the sun. And then you feel your own breath, and you notice that your breath begins to match the breath of the earth. And then you look around and you can see the earth's grid, her power grid, her crystalline grid. It's like sparkling blue light in a crystalline lattice structure. And you can see it on all levels, the physical, the mental, the emotional, and the spiritual. And you see its perfection. And then you look at your own body and you notice that it is connected with you, that you are like an overlay and yet not an overlay. You are this grid. But as you look at your grid, even though it's hard to see where your grid begins and ends, there are places that don't connect in your grid. And as you look at the Earth's grid, you see those little blue lights from the Earth's grid begin to flow into yours. And as they flow in, they create connection and healing in your body on all levels, the physical, the mental, the emotional, and the spiritual. And not only on those levels here in this lifetime, but in all realms and dimensions. Healing and connection is occurring. And your grid is restructuring itself. And as it does, not only amongst the levels, the physical, the mental, the emotional, and spiritual, but the connecting spaces between those layers, they're all beginning to connect up. They all work together. And you see your patterns, genetic coding, thought processes, belief system, things that have held you back, things that no longer serve you. They may have at one time, but now you're ready for an upgrade. Those things are like little hands on the monkey bars of your personal grid, your body's earth grid. Those little hands let go. See them let go. And as they let go, they all flow out. They flow out of every cell of your being on all levels, the physical, the mental, the emotional, and the spiritual. And go out your feet into the earth's grid, out your fingers into the earth's grid, out of every place on your body where they need to come out. And the earth composts it and turns it into something else, something beneficial, something new. All of her heat cycles help to create this. And then through the top of your head, your new patterns come in. The healthier ones, boundaries, abundance, self-love, confidence, all the things that make you feel good about who you are, that make you special and unique and able to share the special and unique that is you. Those are your gifts. Your gifts can come out. And not only are these gifts for the world and for humanity, they are for you, your authentic gifts. And these authentic gifts will bring you abundance as you express them. And know that this will continue. This process will continue until it's finished. And when it's finished, it's finished. It's finished. The upgrade is done. There is no falling back, no retreat, simply more layers that can come off later. But for now, you have attained a new level of awareness. You'll be different. The information you receive intuitively will be different. And with this knowledge, with this new state of being, you'll begin to rise back up from the earth's core to the earth's surface. And as you come to the surface, landing on your feet, and you look down, and you notice the ground once again solid below you. You have reached this new state of being now, and you can come back to your body, come back to the room, come back to your physical awareness, knowing that a whole new set of actions and opportunities are going to open up for you. And that is your very first activation with the earth. So, on your own, I'd like you to do that exercise again and do the connecting in the heart space with the masculine and feminine, and then feed the earth with that energy. And somewhere outside where you like to go, where you like to meditate, or you just like to sit, and think, check in with this location and ask the land there if it thinks it is an ecosystem. And if it says no, ask it what it would need to be an ecosystem. And come into the group and share. Let's open up a dialogue. I would love to hear whatever comes up for you when you go back and practice this again. And I would love to hear whatever came up for you during the meditation. So thank you so much for taking the time to be here with me. And to absorb that. And I have found that that meditation can be a lot for some people. And if you're one of those people and you would like some help understanding more, please reach out to me. And I enjoyed sharing that today. So reach out if you have questions, or if you want help with interpretation, and or if you want help with understanding the homework better. Come in and post a question in the group, and I would be, truly ecstatic to have a conversation with you. I don't think there's anything I like talking about more than this. The science and spirituality of nature is where it's at for me. So I am going to go ahead and close off on this for now. I apologize for my coughing fit in the middle. I truly believe it's actually because we were really supposed to focus in on how important land stewardship is. We'll probably talk about that some more in some of the future videos. All right, everybody, please enjoy your day, and thank you. And I hope that you got as much out of this meditation as I did today. All right, thank you.